Ian Ilion here. Another day in Los Angeles. Huge nightmares. Huge nightmares. I tried to put off sleep as much as possible because I already knew something horrific was going to happen today. Something horrific. I haven't even been discussing how my breakfast has been going the past couple of days, but let's. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Let's rewind. Okay, so yesterday there was a shared dining experience. Shared dining. Woman there, she's got two kids with her. With her. So her world is that. Her world is complete. Absolutely complete. She probably notices me on the way in. There's the mother coming out. She's got her kid. Fine, whatever. I have now PTSD against young children touching my goddamn fucking service animals. So I'm already on high alert. Already on high alert. But I go in there because, I wait for people to go by. I wait for people to go by. It's not a problem. And they gotta move here, they gotta move there, they're moving all around, they're loud, but they don't talk to me. They don't talk to me at all. The husband comes down, he doesn't even sit at the table with the kids. He sits at the next table over. And maybe this is just the advanced parenting. Advanced parenting because his presence is there, but he's not physically close to them. I don't know. That's super fucking odd. I've never seen that before in my life. I've never seen. I mean, I guess it would just be too awkward. They already sat down at a table and there was no room for him, so whatever. I mind. I don't mind. So they do their thing. They are loud. They're everything, but they ignore me. They ignore me. I eat my breakfast. They eat their breakfast. I have to stare at a wall because they're blocking my fucking gorgeous view of a goddamn fucking forest. But either way, they leave. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Until today, where I knew it was too good to be true. Too good to be true. Because I walk in to the room and immediately there's a guy sitting in my seat who surprisingly does look very dashing and almost what's that? Thelma and Louise, Brad Pitt, early 90s era. I'm like, okay, okay. But anyway, he's sitting in my table. But it's not really my table, it's just a table that I use. And I was just, dude, I'm not that attached to it. You want me to feel attached to it? I'm not that attached to it. It's just a table. I'm not gonna move tables. I'm just gonna sit at that table as soon as you leave. That's all. Don't get attached to rooms. You see, this is what I'm trying to do. And I know that it just fucking irks people. It irks them. Oh, god damn. Indigenous person is just so stubborn. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to maintain my white man education, because it is an education, whether I want to accept it or not. It is an education. But I'm trying to break myself of the fucking programming because it's just goddamn programming to say property, to say a table belongs to you, to say a house belongs to you, to say money belongs to you, because there is no such thing as money. Before these Caucasian people came into my lands, I have to say it that way because I'm indigenous on both sides of my family. So before these people, these outsiders, these colonists came into my land, there was no concept of money. There was just, we're kind of over here and you're kind of over there. Do you want to trade? Do you want to trade for things that matter? Okay, I could use a new outfit. Like the sun is getting kind of hot. Do you got anything with some airflow? You would negotiate. You would negotiate for those kind of things. You would say, okay, how many bushels of corn, or would you like some deer meat in order to buy something? Things had intrinsic value. Intrinsic value. You would say good for good, service for service. Hey, I need help putting up a roof over my hut. Then you would just turn to your neighbor and say, "Hey, could you help me with that?" Oh, and by the way, when it's winter and you need your roof to be done in, I'll help you with that. There was a camaraderie there that didn't come with. I know we can't go backwards. I know we can't go backwards. But if you keep pushing forward, it just loops back around. The further you go into the future, the more socialist it becomes. You have a socialist future. You want to think that capitalism is going to stick around for forever. It's impractical. It's impractical to go through colonization on another planet, on the moon, in space, and then say, well, goddamn, not to call them out, Starbucks, but you don't have a fucking presence in space. Would you pay for that cup of coffee? Would you? I don't ever recall seeing an astronaut fumble with their little spacesuit looking for change in a space McDonald's. I think they just got it through their heads. Hey, we're traveling away from the Earth. There's no refuel station. There's no rest stop. There could be commerce, but people say, oh, well, we want to go there. We don't want to go there. I'm like, well, I want to go there. I want to go. It's where I belong. It's tough. It's a tough road that I have in front of me because I'm the indigenous person who talks to animals on camera, because It's not like you keep that a secret. So there are no secrets in America. It's the first thing I said that I was going to talk about on my channel. It's there's no secret here. There's none. Like if you think that who you are, what you can do, all your mutant powers, you can keep that to yourself. No. Not anymore. Not anymore. There are no fucking small towns where they would say, yeah, that doesn't look weird. That, the three of them kind of move together like a wolf pack. You know, we, we'll just ignore that. We'll look the other way. No, no, no. So, I'm not going to hide it. I like it. I think that's more me than being clean shaven technically and working in a lab, but it's not all of me. It's not all of me. When I thought about my dreams growing up, it was always space. It was never some hut somewhere. But why not? Why not have both? Why not live simply and dream big? I think that's what's missing. It's what's missing in society. It's what's missing in all of us. I had the fortunate, happy little thing that went on that today's breakfast was punctuated by animated bugs on television. Just it was Disney Junior or something like that, or maybe it's the Disney Junior. Either way, someone requested it. It's on the television, and I was watching this goddamn episode, and it might have just been a random one, but a dog family visiting another dog family, and I looked at it as, isn't it isn't it nice to not have pretense? Isn't it nice to just have transparency and honesty and trust? Isn't it nice to have that? I'm looking at these two dog families, dogs, so they're not wearing clothes. They have collars on just for show, but they're just living their life. They're like, this is how we run our lives. This is how we run our families. Blah 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 blah. And then they show, the dads giving piggyback rides and just regular dad stuff of can you like a princess day with your kids. Wonderful, wonderful things. And then I had to deal with yet again another lonely hearts woman to talk to me about dogs. Oh, what breed are they? What are they? I'm just here for breakfast. Oh my god! Like I don't know. Maybe it's a white thing. It has to be a white thing because if you see someone and they have dark sunglasses on, and it is 7 o'clock in the morning, and they already have the sunglasses on, trust that they just don't want to talk. They just don't want to do it. Now, I'm not exactly saying I'm a celebrity because I'm not. I make music that is art therapy. It's extremely slutty house music. Some people buy that music. I guess I have fans in most countries. Consistent fans because it shows up that they keep listening to my songs over and over and over again. So I do have fans, but I wouldn't consider myself a celebrity. But that's the difference. And I want to discuss this with my little group here who watch my podcast afterwards, not during. Thank you for not distracting me. I appreciate it. Look at the difference. Look at the difference between the two of a woman who had a cohesive family unit, a little strange, but I will say that that was fucking cohesive. I can say it's cohesive when your family is the only thing that matters. I looked at that and I said, that is the backbone of America. That is what America should be looking forward to. That is what America should be striving for. They should tear down every wall, every roadblock, so that every parent feel that way. Every parent could just say, the most important thing right now are that my kids are fed. The most important thing is that I have eyeballs on them. The most important thing for the husband is I know where my kids are. The most important thing for the husband is I have my wife right beside me. That was beautiful American. I want to say fantasy, but it might have been reality. I mean, I live on the West Coast and nothing is real here. But the tits ain't real here. The fucking people aren't real here. Nothing's real here. Whatever. But then the next day, I have this woman, and look, if she was Cindy Crawford in her prime, trying to chat me up, and didn't have the PTSD, and this was a different route than breathing dragon fire. Dracarys, you fucking bitch! Oh my goodness. Do you not see the Targaryen? Oh my god, do you not see the Targaryen? I love how people watch Game of Thrones and all of the spin-offs of that and don't think, bitch, that's you on television. That's us on television. They're not just drawing from high fantasy. That's a discussion on something that we're not talking about. We're not talking about how it's not just a money issue. It's a philosophy, it's a mindset. Some say it even be a cult, but it's a completely different way of life, different species at this point. What I'm talking about is these dragon people. These dragon people. Now, I know high fantasy is like, oh, look, white people with English accents, and that's that's the dragon people. I'm like, have you seen Beyonce? Have you seen Jay Z? Have you seen, I don't know, Kanye, Lil Kim? All these people, dragons, dragons, treasure, gold, and in some cases invite a princess to their castle and fight the knights that come and try and take a hoe. I mean, there's a parallel there. There's a parallel that that way of life, that way of thinking, that different programming of, you know what? Maybe I get married, maybe I don't get married. Maybe I just fuck a different person in every city. And then at some point, I might have to say, well, I guess I have a kid there. 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 Maybe they know each other. Maybe they never will. How about that? But that's that's us. That is literally us. The idea that there are sacred bloodlines and all that. I had a tough one. I had a tough one this morning, early night, when I had to think about the idea that the American family is disappearing. It's not just that the values are eroding, just eroding. It's what do you do when you're so traumatized and you were supposed to probably get a partner, or you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that, but you're just traumatized. I play a video game currently. I will talk about it at length, but in this video game, characters in it just come in and out. There's a high turnover. And it's hard to make attachments. It's hard to make attachments. They make attachments to you, but it's hard to make attachments. Anyway, so the woman who tried to talk to me, she immediately latches on to the next available male and start talking to him about, I have a 1 year old at home, and I'm like, so what, you want him to drop everything and take care of your kid? You want me to talk to you because you don't have anyone to take care of your kid? Like, what is your end goal? Because if it was as simple as, I just want someone to talk to, seek help. Seek help. I have rough days. I have very rough days. I have such rough days that Taylor Swift had to write a song about me, The Faith of Ophelia. So I understand loneliness. I understand depression. What I don't understand is striking up a conversation with random people, because I have my moments. I do. I do. I walked by some guy the other day, and I don't know what possessed me. He was playing a face, but he was tall and he was thick in the ass. So I gave a wig, and he went like a robot just trying to process. A robot trying to process is just like gay 1 2 1 1 0 0 0 0 0. It's like he didn't call me any like derogatory things. He just let it. He just let the moment go, and I was just like, I'll keep walking. I'll keep walking, because it's just, that's it. That's it. Feel the fucking vibe. Feel the fucking vibe, you clueless little housewife. Or maybe just one single parent. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. If the vibe was, hi, how are you? Lots of fucking teeth. Maybe somebody wants to talk to you. Same thing with the only cute guy who brings waffles. And by the way, I never really hit on him, but when I checked in, he was a fucking chatty fucking cafe. But eventually, he could see my energy and mood was, I don't want to talk to people. And then his energy matched, and it was just like, I don't really want to talk to people either. I get paid to. I get paid to talk to people. I get paid to listen to people. And I don't want to, drag him out of it. So I get my fucking waffle and I let him go back to his misery as being the thought that these desperate housewives have to fucking diddle themselves to late night. It's like, he made eye contact with me. Woo, woo. I'm like, I averted eye contact with you. Am I gonna show up in your dreams? Like, I want to give you nothing. I want to give you nothing. Because if I give you nothing, then you'll think of me for a second, and then it'll, like, erode like a fucking photo under fire. Just I'll fade from your memory. You'll never think of me again. And you'll always have it in your head. That's the one who wouldn't talk back to me. Wouldn't have a conversation with me. I am so lonely. I have a 1-year-old at home. I'm like, okay. What that shit got to do with me? What that shit got to do with me? Do I walk up to people and say, I'm constipated? And just like rub my chin, like, really thoughtfully. Do I walk up to people and fucking tell them my fucking medical conditions? Because you having a 1-year-old is a medical condition of, someone, not me, but someone found you attractive, cracked it, and then left you, clearly. And now you're fucking trolling the whole fucking place trying to fucking talk to people. IWEJ, I wouldn't even jizz in a face. Come on, fuck off. Now, I know if I was a celebrity, not that I am, but if I was, I would have that, I don't know, financial incentive to be outwardly friendly and put up with strangers fucking touching me. But I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. So the idea of being a celebrity, just no. No. It's like touching a fucking live wire, You've got a full fucking current going through you, and it's harder to let go. Because it's also a moving train. It's also a fucking escalator with a keen uphill incline. Am I adjacent? Yeah. Am I a person who is just going to keep podcasting, keep talking about things, keep pushing the envelope of what it means to live in the modern age. Yeah. Does it mean that I have to learn at some point to open my mouth and maybe I don't know, talk to women who are more affected and more aware about what's going on? Yeah, I do. But this is not the context for that. And I know that my misogyny, and I do admit that I have that, my misogyny is strong. It's so strong. It's so strong. But can you blame me when every time I fucking travel, I seem to have an issue of women not understanding no means no? You see, when it's on the other side, it's, well, you should have known that no, no means no. You're a man. You have a penis. You have all the power. No means no. You're supposed to understand that. Okay. Well, does a woman understand no means no? Because I'm on buses and these women are trying to sexually assault me. I'm on a train and they stick their hands underneath my clothes. So, where is the comprehension of basic law? Basic law of, if that shit don't belong to you, get your fucking hands off it. You want a penis so badly, go down to the fucking clinic and go get one of your own. Don't try and grab mine. Okay? Okay. And this is why, I sometimes get twinges of, can you just forgive? Can you just forgive? And no, I can't. I can't forgive that kind of thing. So when I go through my life, when I go through things, I say, women are rapists. Women are rapists. There might be individual people who have not raped me, but I will say that women are rapists. At some point, when I have my brand new buildings for my snap, I will have to open it up, duh, to women. Number one, because they're smarter, they work harder, and they're just a better candidate for what I'm trying to do. So I understand that, but there'll be several boundaries which you will fucking sign. Because if you think that you're coming into my space administration, you can sit and sip the tea and spill it with me, bitch. No, no, that's not happening. Okay, it is hidden figures of how you go to the blackboard and work on those numbers and then come back to me. That's it. That's it. I won't be rude about it because this is what you want too. All these times, these goddamn women who, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you out, these agent provocateurs with their own fucking agendas who do this. Do you not see the big picture? Do you not see 2028? 2028. I cannot stress this enough because it is soon and you need to make a choice. America needs to make a choice, not just for president, not just for president. Because I was watching a clip of the Joe Rogan experience, and I think his name, like Theo Von, who, oh god damn, that man is everything that I want. And to know that if I remember correctly, he was a yoni. He would go to desperate old women and he would say, "Oh, you got the tea? You got the tea? You got the cookies? Okay, okay. Now lean back, and let me just massage your pussy for you. Let me just tickle the labia and get you where you need to." That was actually a thing. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, and he still looks hot. He still looks hot. I know he's not gay. I know. He's so fucking hot. Because he had a mullet at the time, and I was just like, fucking sell it to me. Fucking sell it to me. How this man is not on a major series is just ludicrous to me. It's ludicrous. He is, oh, damn hot. He's goddamn hot. Especially if you think about like what he was doing. Like that man was just so selfless. So selfless. He's like, I'm just gonna come over to your place and just vibrate the, just, and these old women like, I'm like, okay, okay, okay. But he comes on to the Joe Rogan. He comes on to the Joe Rogan Experience, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a veteran. Maybe it's because I'm a secret nihilist. But Theo Von says, we're going to war. Are we gonna be okay? And I'm like, you're looking at Joe Rogan. Sorry, Freudian slip. You're looking at Joe Rogan like he's your goddamn daddy. Like he's your goddamn daddy because he's got the shaved head currently, and he's big. He does jujitsu, and you're just like, just tell me it'll be okay, daddy. Just tell me. I'm like, goddamn, you weak beta male thing just makes me rock hard. It makes me rock hard to see you in that position. Asking daddy, asking Joe Rogan daddy if we're gonna be okay. I'm like, I know it's a talk show. I know it's a talk show, but what do you think Joe Rogan is going to tell you differently? Well, he's not privy to that much. He's an insider, and they're all insiders. You just have to be able to say in 2028 that you understood what it means when you say France and then you say United States. People don't call it America. Some people do. Some people do. They like to say America first and blah, 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 make America great again. But even when they do that, they have to remind themselves, oh yeah, what's that other part? United States of America. As in, we don't want any part of our nation to be bombed or to have threats from afar or anything. But we are not united. We are not. It's a careful little misnomer. It means that we might have shared interests. We might have shared commerce between us. I'll just call it what it is. The West Coast does make-believe stuff that fucking hypnotizes the rest of them and makes sure that they stay in their fucking little dung holes. And the East Coast riles things up, making sure that people are scared and return back to their fucking castles. And the South and the Midwest, they grow shit because they're the only places where you possibly could at this point. Between land and diligence and just the right mindset, that's what it is. You don't share every common goal. You don't share every philosophy on how to run your life or make a community, which is why you have different states. They have different provinces throughout the rest of the world. They do. They do. Even in Scotland, I believe they've got their Garda, and then they have the Metropolitan. They separate things. They do. The closer you are to the mainland, the more you have federales, eh? But the United States is not united. You keep electing a president to say, I speak for all of you. I speak for all of you, don't I? I mean, you all voted for me, so I mean, I guess I speak for you because now I have your permission legally to act on your behalf. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. So we need to remind ourselves that we need to reconsider what an election is. We need to reconsider this idea of every 4 years we get a mouthpiece that says, okay, I'm going to war with this, or, I'm doing away with this program, I'm doing away with that program, whatever. We need to take more local control of things. When Trump defunded the EPA, I didn't hear a single story about a state saying, okay, well, I guess we have to pick up the slack. I think that's kind of the point. And by the way, I support Trump all the way. Not for everything he does, but for what it means in the long run. Because as much as he throws a wrench into the system, it causes a reaction. It causes people to either value the things that they do or look at them a little bit closer. So, is everything going to be okay, Daddy Rogan? Daddy Rogan, with your big arms and big pecs, juicy ass. Daddy Rogan, is everything gonna be okay? What are you gonna do about it? Hmm? I know that it's a talk show and you have to say this because it's on the minds of the people who are listening to you, because they just want to ask the same question. Everybody wants to ask that question of being okay. Why don't you make yourself okay? Why don't you make yourself okay? It takes guts to stand up to the single mom with a lady boner for me. It takes guts to do that. It also takes guts to say, I didn't agree to this war. I didn't agree to it. You didn't ask my permission. I don't agree with it. So I'm not at war with that country. And if enough states took it upon themselves to say, we're dropping out of the war, maybe you have a big difference. Maybe for once you get to see reality. Uh, when you look out your window, when you walk down the street, that's where you are. I looked at my clothes and myself as I was walking down the street because I had my cell phone. I was a fucking texter going on the phone as the fucking car's coming by, and then I had to, just shake myself and snap myself out of it and just realize I'm not in the city. I'm not in the city. There are no sidewalks here. There are no sidewalks. There's You're in the street. When Trump pushes America into this war, there's some people who are like, I'm afraid now. I'm afraid now. It's think of how many veterans feel that way. Think of how many people in the military feel that way. But they have a job to do. All of us, veterans and active duty military, we have to be brave and continue when others falter. There are no sidewalks anymore. Do you get that, America? Do you get that? All the things that Israel has dealt with. You go into a nice restaurant, bomb. You go into, use public transportation, bomb. Oh, God, gunfire. It does. We don't need to be reminded of it, but that is reality. That is reality. We like to think of America as a veneer of civility. You go to a simple thing like church and you expect to be safe. You expect to be safe. But you're not England. You're not Scotland. You're not Ireland. And even Ireland had its fucking days. So you're America. So you have documented cases of, hello, I went to church one day and then I was face down trying to avoid bullets. But people still get up, they put the Sunday best on, they get on the roads, they take their kids with them, and they file into these buildings, they file, into restaurants, you do all this stuff, and you don't think, I need to maybe flip the fucking table over because, there's a man with a knife. I need to, make a fucking phone call quickly to my loved ones because someone has just walked in with a bomb strapped to their chest. That is reality. That is reality now. Okay? There's no going backwards and you just think things will return back to normal and people won't behave that way. People have been behaving that way for the last couple of decades at this point. In America, this war, this thing, is the shut the fuck up, you disgusting fucking liberals, and accept the fact that the world is a fucking scary place and that we need to fucking talk about it at the very least. I say, shut the fuck up, liberals, because when you want to talk to them about border security, they say, "Oh my god, ICE, oh, ICE is so abolish ICE, abolish ICE." I'm like, okay, you do you. But by the way, can I see the case files of all the stuff that didn't happen to your fucking town under your fucking nose because these ICE agents were there? May I just see that? Hmm? Yeah, I know. They're fucking overzealous right now. Overzealous. And that is wrong. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. But you know what's also wrong? The Boston Massacre. It's also wrong is that fucking movie theater with a guy with the Joker and, just decided to fucking live in the movie. Whatever. That's also wrong because even 9/11, there were good, decent federal agents who were on the side of the law who said, could we just interrupt your meeting for 2 seconds and just say, can you look at this? Can you look at this? Okay, well, we need to do something about this. And you know what? You know what these people in power did? They made a decision. It wasn't just a decision to ignore. It was, if we let it happen, what could we get away with? What could we get away with? What could we do? We'd get a lot of power. People would be scared. We get a lot of power. We could do a lot of things. It's a win-win situation. But then explain that to someone like Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson, funniest person I've ever seen. I mean, the man is slinging dick left and right. He got Kate Beckinsale and Ariana Grande. I had to think about her name for a second, but I was about to say, you got Kate Beckinsale, and I could have left it there. I could have left it at that because Kate Beckinsale is just so fucking hot. She's fit. She's like, my goodness, the ab crunch that this woman had to do in order to do her shock therapy fucking movie. But it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. I want a sequel from it. It was that good. I was like, I know. It's like one and done, but I still want a sequel. Either way, his father died because of that, and America could have prevented it. America could have prevented it. America could have made the call to say, you know what? Let's do something. Let's do something. Same with Boston Massacre. Let's do something. No, they decided to let go ahead because there's power to gain from that. Political power to gain from dead bodies. You can get elected off of that. Never again. Never again. It's like, well, why did it happen in the first place? Like, you're running for office on a large body count. It's just, that's how America does business. That's how America does business. I've been trying to get my poor liberal sister to watch this show from done by MGM. I know I talk a lot of shit about the entertainment industry, but it's only because just keep going and going and going and going and going. Because you watch a television show and then you say, okay, that's so good, that's so good. When's the next season? And in some cases, it's okay. Well, that you need a book for that. You need the next book for that. But in some shows, like the show From, it goes beyond the television show. It goes into that is reality. That is reality. You think of it as a show. I'm peeling back that layer. Look, the show's been on for a while. I've been waiting to talk about this. The first episode, it's all about the idea of, I will call them out, a fucking cabal of people who literally fucking trap a family in a small town and just like, you need to be here. You need to be here. And the family's like, we don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want it. We want to go back to our road. And they're like, no, 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 no. Trust us, you want to stay in this town. But I mean, the town itself is a fucking amped up version of what it's like to live in America. What it's like. And what it's like to live in other countries too. Because sometimes during the day things are fine. Sometimes they're fine. And sometimes at night, you gotta fucking lock your doors. You gotta fucking barricade your windows. The first episode, a little girl is at the window and there's a monster on the other side of it. And the little girl says, "Oh, you look like grandma!" And you just invite the thing in. The thing fucking slaughters the entire family. And the father of the family is down at the bar getting fucking shit faced. And so he stumbles onto that, and the whole town is just, where the fuck were you? You didn't hear the screams. You didn't think that they needed you. They might have survived. Maybe one of them might have survived. The entire family fucking gone because you wanted to have a drink. How many Americans like a Theo Vaughn are in this beta mindset of, so is it ever gonna be okay again? Instead of saying, it's not okay right now. It wasn't okay a year ago. It wasn't okay 10 years ago. It is not okay. You need to get it through your fucking heads. It's not just a war over there in the Middle East area. It's within your country. There is a war going on. I would say the war against zombie monsters, but no one really wants to see it that way. They like to say, "Oh, we got the zombie monsters on the television screen, on the theater screen. We have it there." I'm like, no, no, no. We wouldn't have police if you didn't have that stuff happening in real life. They're fucking serial killers in real life. But everyone wants to be, "Hi, how are you? Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you, stranger?" I'm like, do you not see police bloggers? Do you not see missing people's reports? Do you not? No, I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. It's like, well, you listen to the news. A woman missing for blah 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 days. The search continues, and people say, "I'm just gonna go for a walk." What time is it? Yeah, I can go for a walk. I can hitch a ride on the way back. People in this town are all good. Everybody. Like, I'm ragging on that fucking Theo Von and that data attitude, but no, 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 no. There is time to relax, and there's a time to fucking take up arms and batten down that chicks. And you'd be better for it. You'd be better for it. If Theo Von was rolling on the mat and going to the range and learning how to defend himself, he wouldn't think that way of, is everything gonna be okay? I mean, I'm not thinking that that would do anything against some high ordnance or a missile. But maybe you gotta think about that too. Maybe you gotta think about living in America where half that shit is fucking a nuclear wasteland because either we start shit abroad or there's just some disgruntled people here. You have to think of it as reality. That is the world you live in. You do not have this fucking luxury that everyone thinks they have to fucking sit and enjoy peace. Peace is an illusion. You watch violence on TV and think that's the only place that is. So no, no, no. Woman with the 1 year old who's looking for a Superman to Superman that hoe. You're on your own. You're on your own. I'm on my own. I guess at some point we're gonna have to learn to put that shit aside and just say it might be town versus town, town versus rest of the world. It's better to think that way now than to catch up later. Catch up. My name is Ian Leon. I'm an environmentalist. I'm a human rights activist. I'm a mutant, a werewolf. Oh. I'm a veteran with PTSD from military sexual trauma, and I'm not getting any better. I started Mars Now, my non-profit organization, mostly for exploration outside the Earth, colonization of other planets, but also a way to say that there are precious things in this country and around the world that are worth saving. So no, I don't have time for idle conversation when I'm trying to save you all. It's a burden. Trying to save the world. So let me carry it. Let me save you. And you might have to actually say hello to someone. Hello, Sean. Thank you for noticing that my beard isn't even. I think it's a signature piece at this point. Every time I think about being a pretty person, I think to myself, that's a lot of work. And I kind of like the idea of just being goddamn hideous and slovenly. I like it. I might hang on to it for at least a couple more days before I blossom into a beautiful butterfly. I just don't have time for it though. I don't have time to be pretty. I don't have time to be polite. I highly recommend that show from I'm skipping ahead through so many seasons and episodes, but that one pivotal moment where this woman takes up a fucking gun and she's just shooting people everywhere. She's shooting people everywhere. And it's very fucking triggering because you see a lot of them in the news. You see a lot of mass shootings, you're seeing a lot of school shootings, and her line in it, I have to say, it's just good writing. I cannot enjoy any of your fucking shows and movies ever again, but I will say that was just, it was brilliant writing because she says, I'm trying to wake them up. I don't agree with her actions whatsoever. I condemn her fucking actions. But America is a fucking asleep. We go to plays and we look at Brigadoon. And I love it because it's a brilliant fucking play, musical sometimes, about a whole kingdom that, just falls asleep, travels through time, never changing, never growing. That's America right now. That's America. I mean, I guess we are growing in a way, but into pussies. Into pussies who shy away from conflict, shy away from things that make you uncomfortable. Which is why every single time when I hear, do you want waffle? And then the women just come and fucking swap me, I just say, yeah, I did ask for a waffle. And guess what? I didn't ask for that fucking conversation. I didn't ask for people to interact. I don't have a problem saying that. I don't have a problem standing up for myself. I probably did at some point, but if we're going to war, it doesn't matter who started it. It doesn't matter. What matters is who's gonna finish it. So, men, grab your fucking arts and accept that we're at war at all times. At all times. Women, accept that we're at war at all times. When you go to the fucking supermarket, when you go to your fitness classes, when you're walking down the street, expect to fucking fight. Men expect to fucking fight. Women expect to fucking fight. There is a war going on at all times. I hope to see you on the next podcast.